Hello! Welcome to Marshmellow Reads. I'm Marcy, and today I'm going to tell you about the rest of the books I read in January. If you're interested in the rest of the books I read this month, go ahead and check out my other video. You don't have to, but if you're curious, it's there. Okay, let's jump in. First off, I have a graphic novel, An Embarrassment of Witches by Sophie Goldstein. Oh man, this was such a relatable young adult story. Like, it's part coming of age, part just completely fucking things up. This story centers two friends / roommates, and there's not really a fixed plot or anything like that, but instead you get to see these two try and fail in a variety of ways at being young adults. This includes communicating with their parents, navigating romantic relationships, living in a tiny apartment together, starting your career, or figuring out what the heck you want to do as your career. Think right out of college to maybe a couple years out of college. There's this professor that one of the girls meets who wants to burn down academia and rebuild it in her image. Get it, girl, and good luck. And then the other girl, gets this like sciencey job. And oh my god, dude, I would love to study crypto pharmacology and then go work for like a botanical alchemy group. Like, hell yeah. I absolutely love this world. Like, that alone was worth it for me, and it's not a very long book. I do really hope that the author revisits this world, like not necessarily with the same characters. Like, I liked them, but they weren't what drew me in. It was the world, and I want to see more of it. And I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. Next is The Storm Runner by J.C. Cervantes. Zane Obispo is just a kid from New Mexico who likes to go hiking at his local dormant volcano with his best friend and dog, Rosie. Yeah, but one day on one of these hikes, he ends up kind of accidentally releasing an ancient evil Mayan god. Oops. And now he has to find a way to somehow put this trickster evil god back in his little imprisoned relic thing. And along the way, he teams up with Brooks, a girl who can turn into a hawk, as well as other demons and magical beings. It was a fun romp through Mayan mythology, and that's exactly what I wanted this to be. I never read Percy Jackson or that series, but I'm assuming this is like the Mayan version of that. I did like it as an introduction to the world and its cast of characters. It is the first in, I believe, a trilogy of books, and like, it was good. But it really only started to get my attention at the climax and the epilogue bit. Zane's story is pretty cool. He discovers who his father is, and like, yeah, he's gonna be kind of magical himself in a specific way, and that was cool. Yeah. Oh, and then there was my favorite character, Ishtab. I love her. I should build an altar to her because she's legit dope. She is the current overseer of the underworld, and she has just some wild outfits and looks to her, and like, her personality is pretty cool. Like, I want to be her. Imagine her as some sort of spooky Mayan boss babe. Like, it's pretty great. I can't wait to see her in the next book. I'll read it eventually. Like, it's not at the top of my list, but I do want to continue with the series. And I gave this one a 3 out of 5 stars. Next, I have another e-arc obtained from NetGalley. Thank you again. This is My Dearest, Darkest by Kayla Cottingham. I did not fully realize that I had signed up for a sapphic, New England, boarding school, eldritch horror. But wow, what a ride. Yes, buying an entire lighthouse for your daughter and her friends to live in while attending a super fancy boarding school is probably the bougiest thing I've ever heard of. But yeah, I would kill to live there. Like, just, oh, it's so, the setting, amazing. Plus, the underground tunnels on campus are so cool and so spooky, like, A+ setting. As for the characters, each of the girls, plus their friend Simon, feel fully brought to life in the writing. And watching Finch and Selena catch feelings for each other was super cute. Oh man, and at a point, at the very beginning, when they were like trying to figure each other out and their own feelings out, I really felt for Selena. Yeah, The added worry of, is she a straight girl who freaks out if a queer girl touches her instead of just worrying about if she likes you or not, is a lot. Ooh, and then one funny note. I did enjoy that this book gives a queer hint. You might be queer if you love it when your favorite actresses wear a suit. Guilty. And the story immediately hooks you in with our main characters running into not one, but two cool cryptids. Plus, there's a missing band and a secret cult. Like, there's so much going on here, more than I expected, but it was so cool. For a while, I was pretty sure I knew where it was going, but like it feels like a typical ghost story at the very beginning. But then the final confrontation brings in some surprise cosmic horror elements that really takes the story to another level. I loved it, clearly, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. Next, I have My Soul to Keep by Tananarive. I loved The Good House by her, and I really wanted to read this Immortals series, and now I'm finally getting to that. Woo! So Jessica and David seem to be the perfect married couple with such an adorable young daughter. At least that's what Jessica thought. Well, little did she know that she married an immortal. David, like over 400 years ago, he made a trade. He traded his humanity for the ability to live forever. Normally, the dudes, his brothers or whatever, that did this would live on a specific area or specific like compound sort of thing, village, I don't know. And they would be happily enjoying their journeys into a variety of different knowledge things. Like, they would just be old nerds forever, like studying music, history, blah, 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 blah. But David was special and different. He just could not let go of his love of humans, specifically his want to have a wife and a family, which brings him to his current dilemma. If he tells Jessica the truth, can he convince her to join him in eternity, or will she freak out and run away forever? Yeah, that's some fun tension there. This book is slow paced. I do want to let you know of that, but for me, that wasn't an issue. I did see on Goodreads, like, some of the readers had some trouble getting into the story because of that, but to me, that wasn't really a problem. I liked the tension built by David's secret life, threatening to come up before he was ready to tell her. And each time a clue pops up and his wife and daughter get closer and closer to just having their whole lives blown up in their faces. And I felt it. It was stressful. But yeah, overall I thought this was pretty good. It definitely feels like the first book in a series. Like, there's a lot of world building, especially with the Life brothers. They're that secret, eternal, immortal colony living in a hidden place in Ethiopia. And I liked how it got into the living blood, the thing that can make you immortal, but only if the ritual is done correctly. Important piece of information. And I also just enjoyed the backstory relationship between David and Jessica, because they legitimately feel like they were happy together, that they loved each other. And can they get over this huge hurdle? I'll leave that to you to find out. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. And then the last book I read in January is a memoir. This is Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner. This is good. This was an emotional and powerful memoir about growing up Korean American, as well as grieving the loss of her mother and forging her own identity. Like, it was a pretty quick read. I listened to it via audiobook, and I'm pretty sure the author narrates it herself, and I absolutely love when authors do that, especially for memoirs. So that was really cool. I connected with Michelle's not feeling like a true Korean, or in my case, Mexican, but feeling closer to it and her culture and history and all that when cooking traditional dishes. For example, I never got to cook with my maternal grandmother, my mom's mom, but I cherish her cookie recipe. It's what my mom would make all the time for me for like school functions and stuff when I was growing up, and now it's like a traditional bake for me. Like, I love it. I love them. Number one, they're delicious. They're cinnamon sugar, but they also remind me a lot of my mom, and that connection to my grandmother is like an extra nice bit. yeah, I really like this book. I love memoirs in general, apparently. I didn't know this until somewhat recently, but I can't listen to too many or like read too many because otherwise I will be too weepy, for sure. Yeah, I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars. And that is all for January. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you really liked it, consider subscribing to my channel. I hope you all have an amazing week. Do something nice for yourself, like doing a chocolate tasting, and do something nice for others, like giving them a box of chocolates. I'm sure this video is going to come out sometime after Valentine's Day, so snatch up those discounted chocolates. And with that, I will see you in the next one. Bye!